Welcome to my podcast. My name is Carlos Bastida, and today we'll talk about 6G wireless, ETPs, geopolitics, and Mexican trade balance. Will be a very interesting information, and I hope that you will enjoy it. Let's dive in. Let's begin with the innovation information. Okay, we're going to talk about the photonic processor. Could you please explain what's a photonic processor?
Certainly. The photonic processor is essentially a specialized AI hardware chip that uses light, or photons, to process wireless signals. Unlike digital processors that rely on electrical signals, this optical approach allows for significantly faster computations. The chip is designed to classify wireless signals in nanoseconds, which is about 100 times faster than current systems. This increased speed is crucial for real-time applications, especially in the future of 6G wireless technology, where dynamic spectrum management is essential. The processor is also scalable and energy efficient, making it suitable for various high-performance computing applications, from autonomous vehicles to smart medical devices. Its ability to perform complex computations in real time, at the speed of light, is a major breakthrough in signal processing.
Right, very good and complete information, but please explain more details about the relation with the 6G wireless.
The photonic processor plays a crucial role in the development of 6G wireless technology because it can handle the complex signal processing requirements of future networks. 6G is expected to have much higher data rates, lower latency, and the ability to connect a vast number of devices, which requires efficient spectrum management. The photonic processor's ability to classify wireless signals in real time allows for dynamic spectrum allocation, optimizing network performance and reducing latency. This is particularly important for cognitive radios that can adapt wireless modulation formats to changing environments, ensuring efficient data transmission and reliable connectivity in the future of wireless communication.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it's deeply complete with the innovation and in today's life situation because today's very complicated be out of the technology innovation. Okay, about this information, please explain us about the optical neural network.
The optical neural network, specifically the MAFT-ON, is a specialized design for wireless signal processing. It uses light to perform computations, encoding signal data in the frequency domain. This allows for efficient processing of machine learning operations within a single device, per layer, enabling high-speed and scalable computations. It's designed to process wireless signals quickly and accurately, making it ideal for real-time signal classification in future wireless communication systems.
Very interesting, and also this is going to be a very innovative situation. And please, what do you identify the difference between 5G and 6G wireless?
The main differences between 5G and 6G wireless technology lie in their capabilities and performance. 6G is expected to offer significantly higher data rates, potentially terabits per second, compared to 5G's gigabit speeds. It will also have much lower latency, enabling near instantaneous communication, which is crucial for applications like autonomous vehicles and real-time control systems. 6G is also expected to support a massive increase in device connectivity, allowing for seamless integration of countless IoT devices. Additionally, 6G will leverage advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and terahertz frequencies to provide even higher speeds and more reliable connections, pushing the boundaries of wireless communication.
Yeah, it's very interesting because the innovation is very accelerated, but the risk is that many people have vulnerabilities about the for the hacking information or to about the cybersecurity risks is very complicated.
You're absolutely right. The rapid advancement of technology, especially with innovations like 5G and 6G, does raise significant cybersecurity risks. As more devices become connected and more data is transmitted, the potential for hacking and other cyber threats increases. Ensuring the security of these networks and protecting user data is a crucial challenge that needs to be addressed as technology evolves.
Absolutely. And that's the important information, because the innovation in one side is very positive because we have access to different innovation products, services, but in another side there is a very high and elevated risk, especially in the cybersecurity. Okay, well, that's very complete information, because the MIT is working so hard, especially developing this kind of innovation. I hope that will be very interesting, and we continue to the next topic. The next topic is about crypto and the exchange traded products.
A crypto asset exchange traded product, or ETP, is a type of investment product that tracks the value of one or more cryptocurrencies. It allows investors to gain exposure to the price movements of digital assets without having to directly own or store the cryptocurrencies themselves. These ETPs are traded on traditional exchanges, similar to stocks or ETFs, providing a regulated and more accessible way to invest in the crypto market.
Great. Okay, that's very interesting. And also there is a topic that I want that you explain with more details, is what is about the in-kind redemption.
In-kind redemption is a process where investors redeem their shares of an ETP, not for cash, but for the underlying cryptocurrencies the ETP tracks. Instead of receiving a cash payout, they receive the actual crypto assets. This mechanism is often used by institutional investors and can help maintain the ETP's price in line with the underlying crypto assets. It provides flexibility for investors to exchange their ETP shares for the crypto assets directly.
Great. Okay. And that's the important situation, because this information was published in 2024, but there is a new ruling impact about the published information about the SEC. Could you please explain the new details? Tell us about the new ruling SEC about the crypto.
The new ruling by the SEC in the United States regarding crypto asset ETPs aims to provide greater clarity and investor protection. It focuses on establishing a regulatory framework for these products, ensuring transparency and fair market practices. The rules likely include requirements for disclosure, custody of assets, and market surveillance to safeguard investors and maintain market integrity. This new ruling reflects the SEC's efforts to adapt to the evolving crypto market and provide a more structured environment for crypto ETPs.
Right, that's a very good information. And also the situation is not just that part, because the most important thing is that crypto coins are developing in different activities in different industries and countries, and that's the important thing that we have to pay attention. The most important thing is that today the evolution of the crypto is very important, and for the business, for industries, for countries, there is no option to avoid the use of the crypto system. And then
You're
it's
right.
very
The
important
evolution of cryptocurrencies is incredibly significant, and their adoption is expanding into various industries and countries. The increasing use of crypto for transactions, investments, and other purposes highlights the need for individuals and businesses to adapt to this changing landscape. It's crucial to understand the potential benefits and risks associated with cryptocurrencies and to be prepared for their integration into everyday financial activities. The information you provided underscores the growing importance of crypto in the global financial ecosystem.
Absolutely, that's the important thing. The next topic is very important. Is the most important situation today, because it's correlated with everything: finance, economy, innovation, technology, and everything. It's about the geopolitics. Okay, tell us about the relation with US and China technology decoupling.
The relationship between the US and China regarding technology decoupling is quite complex and significant. Initially, the focus was more on trade disputes, but now it's brought into a wider challenge of supply chain separation. Export controls and technological restrictions have become prominent factors. Recent talks have somewhat stabilized the situation, but the overall trend is still towards greater technological decoupling. A comprehensive trade agreement between the two countries appears to be a distant possibility at the moment. The US has been focusing on securing its technology interests, leading to restrictions on certain technologies, which impacts global supply chains. This decoupling is creating a more fragmented and potentially less efficient global technology landscape. Both countries are essentially trying to build their own technological ecosystems, which could lead to further divisions in the future. Global trade protectionism involves countries implementing policies like tariffs, quotas, or regulations to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. These measures aim to make imported goods more expensive, encouraging consumers to buy locally produced goods. While intended to safeguard domestic jobs and industries, protectionism can also lead to higher prices for consumers, reduced competition, and potential trade wars between countries. It's a complex issue with significant implications for global trade and economic relations.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting because in one side it's very, very useful and positive for the United States as a country, but it's a very complicated situation for many industries, many workers. It's a very, very volatile situation because it's in one side very, very positive aspects, but in another way, it's a very, very complicated and riskier, especially for the situation for many industries or companies that they have developed a supply chain for many years with different suppliers in different countries, for example, Mexico, China, or different areas, and today modify and develop new suppliers is very, very complicated to do that because you need to identify to start doing evaluation process, access process, and different situations that will be very, very complicated. Well, complicated for doing in the short time. You will do it in a long time, but during this period will be very complicated. The finance situation, the technical situation, and the import and export relation. I mean, logistics situation. Okay. In another situation that's very, very complicated and very dynamic, it's about the Middle East ceasefire. Could you please tell us some details?
Certainly. The recent ceasefire in the Middle East is a significant development. It represents a crucial moment for potentially de escalating conflicts and paving the way for peace and stability in the region. The details of the ceasefire typically involve agreements on cessation of hostilities, withdrawal of forces, and provisions for humanitarian aid. It often requires ongoing negotiations and diplomacy to ensure the lasting adherence to the agreement and address underlying causes of the conflict. This ceasefire could be a pivotal step towards establishing a more stable and peaceful environment in the region.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And we have to pay attention that there is another situation that is more complicated to consider because Iran is a member of the BRICS, and also they have a relation with China and Russia. I mean, the international trade bilateral by both countries. I mean, Iran and Russia, Iran and China, and they have full support from those countries, and that's the riskier situation in that condition, today context. And in another side, the situation that's Israel is supported by United States and in another countries from Europe, and will be a very complicated situation if they interrupt the ceasefire. And I hope that they have a good deal and stop the war of this region. That's the most important situation. Okay.
Now, regarding the Middle East ceasefire, the situation is currently tense. There's a fragile ceasefire in place after a period of intense confrontation between Israel and Iran. While the conflict hasn't significantly disrupted oil supply so far, there's uncertainty about the durability of the ceasefire. The differing red lines and lack of trust between the two countries make it difficult to reach a lasting settlement regarding Iran's nuclear program. In Gaza, there are signs of potential progress towards a new ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, following an intensified Israeli military campaign. Meanwhile, a fragile ceasefire holds in Lebanon between Israel and Hezbollah.
It's about the war in this situation, because also the logistics situation has been interrupted, and there's a very riskier situation in the Suez Channel and also the Hormuz region. Okay, and that's the important situation, because any of these topics can initiate a conflict, a bigger conflict in the trade or in the war. That's the important thing to consider and analyze the complete situation. What are your conclusions about this topic?
You've highlighted some crucial connections. The decoupling between the US and China isn't just about trade, it has broader geopolitical implications. Iran's relationship with China and Russia adds another layer of complexity, making regional dynamic global power struggle. The US's support for Israel further intertwines the Middle East conflict with major international relations. The potential for disruption to trade and logistics, such as in the Suez Canal and the Strait of Hormuz, highlights how interconnected these issues are. Any escalation or disruption in one area could have significant ripple effects across the globe, impacting trade, technology, and overall international stability. The convergence of trade and geopolitical tensions creates a complex environment where careful analysis is essential to understand the potential consequences.
Yeah, and that's a complication, and that's the situation that we have to pay a lot of attention and to analyze it.
Absolutely.
The next topic is a very interesting topic. It's about the Mexican trade balance. Some information about June, and I mean it's very interesting, because it can explain us some details about the situation, what's happening in Mexico. Please tell us about what's the Mexico trade surplus in June 2025.
Mexico recorded a trade surplus of $514 million in June 2025. This was a reduction from the surplus of $1,232 million observed in May, primarily due to a decrease in the surplus of non-oil goods and an increase in the deficit of oil goods.
Yeah, that's a very good information, and unfortunately for Mexico, for Mexican finance, it's a very complicated situation. Okay, about this, so continuing with this, tell us about the relation with manufacturing export growth.
Manufacturing exports showed an annual growth of 13.5% in June 2025. This performance was driven by increases of 4.5% in automotive exports and 18.5% in non-automotive manufacturing exports.
Yeah, that's in one side it's a very good information, but there is many situation or details that it's decreasing, because can you tell us about the oil versus non-oil export and import perform?
In June 2025, non-oil exports increased by 12.4% year-on-year, while oil exports contracted by 30.4%. On the import side, non-oil imports rose by 5.3%, while oil imports decreased by 5.4%.
Yeah, that's a very complicated situation, because today the principal client from Mexican exports are the United States. About this, could you tell us about the Mexico and US trade balance?
According to the data, Mexican non-oil exports to the United States grew at an annual rate of 15.0% in June 2025, indicating a strong trade relationship between the two countries.
The risky situation today is that the governments from the US and Mexico, they are negotiating about the tariffs. And the situation is that the 84% of the Mexican exports go to the United States. And if they stop importing the goods, this is going to be a very dangerous situation for the companies and also for the government, because they get the finance government. And that's a very risky situation. I hope that they will develop a good negotiation, a good deal, and they resolve this situation because the U.S. government have been asking for specific details or situations, especially in migration and security. And that's, I hope that Mexican government shows some results in evolution about these topics because the risk for Mexico is very, very high. And we have to consider and pay a lot of attention on this. And well, about the conclusion from the information that we have been talking about, what do you think? What's your conclusion?
The situation regarding Mexican exports to the United States is indeed critical, given the high dependency on the US market. Potential disruptions, such as changes in trade policies or supply chain issues, could have significant impacts on Mexican industries and the economy. It's crucial for both governments to engage in constructive negotiations to address concerns related to trade, migration, and security to maintain a stable and mutually beneficial relationship. Successful diplomacy is essential for mitigating risks and ensuring the continued flow of trade and cooperation between the two countries.
Yeah, very, very interesting, and I hope that they do a good deal. Okay, let's continue.
All right.
Could you please tell us your conclusions about the all the information?
Considering all the information you've discussed, it's clear that various aspects like photonic processors, cryptocurrency, geopolitical tensions, and trade dynamics involving Mexico are interconnected. Technological advancements like photonic processors can significantly impact global power dynamics and economic competition. Cryptocurrencies introduce new complexities in finance and regulation, affecting national security and trade relationships. Geopolitical tensions, especially between major powers, influence trade policies and can lead to disruptions in global supply chains, impacting countries like Mexico. The interplay of these factors creates a complex and dynamic environment where advancements in technology and shifts in geopolitical relationships can have far-reaching consequences for international trade and stability.
Thank you for your time and attention. To explore Carlos Bastida's comprehensive suite of professional services and networking opportunities, please refer to the curated links provided in the description below. We invite you to subscribe, like, and enable notifications to stay informed about the latest strategic developments.